The MOS of a 13 Bravo in the United States Army is a Cannon Crewmember, and you might have heard maybe the slogan or the catchphrase, King of Battle, and that's what we're talking about here as a 13 Bravo works with artillery. Some of the primary duties of a 13 Bravo include operating cannons such as the howitzer, identifying target locations, preparing ammo, and much more. The MOS of a 13 Bravo is available for active duty soldiers as well as National Guard soldiers, but is not available in the Army Reserves. In order to qualify for this MOS, you will have to have a high school diploma or a GED, as well as take the ASVAB and score at least a 93 in the field artillery section. The field artillery section of the ASVAB is made up of 3 areas. Those areas are the arithmetic reasoning, mathematics knowledge, and mechanical comprehension. The training involved to be a 13 Bravo includes 10 weeks of basic training and then AIT at Fort Sill, Oklahoma. Now, how long AIT goes on for kind of depends on where you're looking. If you go to the Army's website, they say the AIT for a 13 Bravo is actually 7 weeks long, whereas the Fort Sill website actually says that it's 5 weeks and 4 days long. So a little bit of discrepancies as far as how long AIT is. I don't know if the Army's website is a little bit outdated or if the Fort Sill one is incorrect. I'm not too sure. But if anybody has ever been to 13 Bravo AIT recently, make sure to leave a comment down below of how long your AIT was. If you're curious as far as what vehicles a 13 Bravo will work with, that can really vary. I mean, you're going to probably have like the howitzer, you're probably going to have like some, LMTVs to transport ammo and a lot of different other things, probably even some Humvees still for training. So that one's not really a set type of vehicle you work with. It may vary just based on kind of what you're doing at the time. So with this MOS of being in artillery, you don't really have a big job to do when you're not in training or in a combat zone. So it might be a similar situation like with 11 Bravos. When you're not deployed or in training, you get stuck with a lot of crummy details. But because a 13 Bravo does still have things like LMTVs and those howitzers, they're probably doing maybe maintenance on those vehicles, maybe maintenance on those cannon systems, probably some training here and there. So it may kind of vary where your main kind of job is only really being done if you're deployed to a combat zone or you're in a training environment like going to the field or going on some kind of training deployment. So kind of be aware of that. You might have some downtime, you might get stuck just working in the motor pool a lot unless you're going to do a training event where you're going to be doing a lot of fire missions, or maybe you're going on a deployment where you're actually going to do some live fire missions. Now this is one of those jobs that don't translate very well into the civilian world because you're not going to be doing fire missions or artillery in the civilian world, but that military experience, that education that you got from the military, the discipline, does translate pretty well to doing things like working with the Army, maybe working for the government, maybe working on a Army installation, doing different training things. So just kind of be aware of that. This is kind of a one kind of thing you're doing in the Army where you're not going to be able to do this really in the civilian world, but that military experience will still help you out with a lot of jobs. I'd love to hear from some of you that may have been 13 Bravos or currently 13 Bravos. Make sure you leave some comments down below to explain your experience. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you show it some love. I'm ThatChrisChaos. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. See ya.